Hi guys, this is Elizabeth Quam from Getty Grove. If you're new to my channel, I just do a lot of random homesteading stuff and talk about health. So homesteading for health, and talking about health in general. But here's my new baby, Ryla. She's a sweetie pie. So I have been doing an exercise lately and I want to post more often, but I don't want to do so much editing because a lot of editing takes a lot of time, and since I'm a new mom and also, well, I have 5 children, but also I want to go to school, so I just am gonna have to do a lot more videos like this one. And even if I lose subscribers, they feel like it'll be better that I'm more regular. And so a friend brought up to me about lab-grown meat. Now, I've known this for a while about the whole lab-grown meat. I've posted about it before. Lab-grown meat. Some people think that it is going to be possibly better because they think, oh, then there won't be like contamination of the meat, or it's going to be more healthy for you because it might not have as much bacteria and stuff like that because it's lab grown. And no, other sources are like, no, it doesn't have an immune system. It won't have an immune system. So the possibility for it becoming contaminated is much more. Also, interestingly, for scaffolding of the lab-grown meat, they have used a fungus to grow it. Now, there's different ways and methods that they have tried to use to grow it, but one method for the texture being right is using a fungus that has a timed death or an injection that would kill it before it is sold as meat. I mean, doesn't that just sound disgusting? And apart from that, I mean, that just is, I mean, you're growing meat and it's just riddled with fungus intercellularly, I suppose. Just kind of like the concept of hypha, of the fungus getting in between our cells and in our cells, and or there's many ways that it probably is pathogenic in our bodies. And I'm not totally schooled on all of that, but you guys know, if you've watched my channel much, that I hate fungus so much because of mold toxicity, causing a gluten allergy in our home and making my daughter have what looked like leukodystrophy. But leukodystrophy in itself, oh hi Papa, I'm doing kind of an unscripted video, unedited. Bye, have fun fishing.
Bye.
Whoop. Oh baby, oh baby, oh baby. Let's get a close up. Baby Ryla, I love you, girl. Are you gonna smile? Are you gonna smile? Darian said she smiled today, but that would be pretty early. She's like 5 weeks old. Babies usually smile like between 6 and 12 weeks old, so we should see a smile sometime soon. But anyway, about the lab-grown meat. So, disgusting fungus, scaffolding, ability for it to become infected with all kinds of stuff. It's just not, it isn't going to be a, and then you have to pay for all these scientists to be growing this meat and doing these systems, and it's just like, we need animals, large animals. We need their poop. We need them to digest and recycle carbon into the ground. Like we are not going to, if we don't manage this right, I mean, we're just going to degrade our soil even more. And you think, oh, well, you know, farm animals make our soil worse because we have all this. No, whatever. That's not true. They put a lot of good things in the soil. They're regenerative. There's a whole line about talking about how rotational grazing can be regenerative to the land, and very helpful for the microbiome of the land and everything. So lab grown meat, guys. It's what do you guys think about lab grown meat? Would you eat it? Would you even eat lab grown meat? And my friend, she said that it was being sold at Walmart, but I don't think it's being sold yet anywhere. I don't think so, but I will look into that. That's very disturbing, but I do think to myself, like, okay, so if it's lab grown meat, are they even going to have to label it as lab grown meat? Or will they just be able to sell it to you without telling you that it was lab grown? I think that's ethically wrong and nasty. We need, there's so many good things that come with meat as well, like growing the animal itself. You know, all the bone of the animal, all of those things are very, oh no, there's a spit up. Oh, there's a spit up. My sweet baby. My sweet baby spit up. I'm having to bottle feed her a lot because my production of milk is so down. I think it's because of my surgery, but my girlfriends were saying that they had a hard time believing that it was because of surgery, and it might be more of a component of not getting her latch. She's just so easy on the bottle. But I'll keep trying to pump and keep trying to take some supplements like fenugreek and marshmallow root were two of the supplements that my friends were like, this is really good and this is what you should take. So I'm taking it. Fenugreek is really interesting that it actually tastes like, I mean, it has a maple syrup. It makes you smell a little bit like maple syrup. I was actually investigating, there's actually a disease called maple syrup urine disease where your urine smells like maple syrup. And I find it really fascinating that they have identified the same chemical component in that fenugreek is in this maple syrup urinary disease. Well, if you look it up, there's actually fungus that create that same chemical. So when I look at the body and I think about the things that we find in our blood, I think more about the metabolites of fungus. And I'm like, okay, well, is this mine or is this a byproduct of a fungus? Did my body create this, or did fungus create this in my body or somebody's body? Like same with oxalic acid, oxalate crystals. Oxalates can be formed by fungus, and so it is very. That's how my mind works. Like I'll look things up like that. Or in calcium, if you look up calcium deposits and different diseases, you'll find oftentimes a lot of these diseases have a lot to do with calcium dysregulation in the body, and oxalates. Also, I was learning in this book, Toxic Legacy, that when you don't have enough glutathione in your body, that ascorbic acid is vitamin C, ascorbate, oxidize oxidized ascorbate can transform without glutathione, can form oxalate. It can be transformed into oxalate. So I don't know what the pathway is on that, but that was just really interesting that it mentioned that in this book. I highly recommend this book. It talks a lot about the ways and pathways, and it gets into nitty gritty detail about kind of just the ways that glyphosate affects the pathways in our body, making sulfate, sometimes making sulfate toxic to us, but yet we need a lot of sulfur. And interestingly, fungus actually likes a little bit of sulfur, but doesn't like a lot of sulfur. So getting our sulfur corrected in our body is really important. She's even saying that sulfur may be as important as oxygen in our bodies. Well, we all need a lot of different types of nutrients to function properly and not die. So yeah, that was, I think that anyone want to pick up this book. It's not even very thick. And it is very interesting. She has focused mostly on autism. Her thoughts about how this autism epidemic has come about. But it's not only autism. There's and she's not just saying autism, but just chronic diseases as a whole. Like, and she even wrote a chapter in a textbook, not this book. But she wrote a chapter in a textbook about how fungus and glyphosate really, glyphosate in the body helps fungus thrive and is making it more potent. But not only in our body, in our environment as well, because when we spray all of these fields with glyphosate, which does not get rid of fungus, it actually can be a substrate for eating. The fungus can actually eat and digest that glyphosate. But we just have, like, our environment is very fungal toxic load. And then we have some fungicides that aren't eliminating a lot of fungus, and they're leaving a lot of fungus to thrive. So it's killing the biodiversity. So basically, they're killing the biodiversity of fungus, but also the tons and loads of bacteria. And what is going to survive in the most polluted environment is fungus. And every time we disturb the soil, when we're tilling up the land, we're creating an environment for us to inhale all these spores. Well, you think about hay fever. So hay fever, and I wish they would call it what it is, like fungus, because hay fever is caused by fungus. And so it's common in, I think, part of California, hay fever. I'm like, it's really nasty stuff. So and unfortunately, I live in Iowa, and fortunately, I love Iowa. But we live in an environment in Iowa that is massively sprayed with even halides like bromine and fluoride that compete for your iodine on your thyroid. And y'all know, if you see my channel, that I love iodine. Interestingly, I'm just going to give another little snippet. Interesting, I saw that when they combined so boron is not usually something that they supplement in the soil, but oftentimes your Brassica families love boron and need boron to thrive. But boron and glyphosate, when they're together sprayed on plants, the sodium borate inhibited the ability for some of the plants to become intoxicated and killed by glyphosate. So and boron is a really good detoxing agent. So that's something interesting. I'm obsessed with iodine, boron, and the fat soluble vitamins. Eating really good, high, lots of protein in your diet. Meat dominant, kind of keto. Okay, I better take care of baby. See y'all again soon.